We're back, people, and today we're bringing on film on the Miami Dolphins defense versus the Bears. They really struggled to stop Justin Fields' mobility in this one. He ran all over them, had a bunch of yards. Versus the pass, they did a pretty decent job. They got it kind of carved up early when they were playing zone and attacked into the flat, but later on, their man-to-man got better. They were playing tighter coverage. They did a good job stopping Montgomery and Herbert in the running game as well. Just overall, they couldn't stop Fields when they went man-to-man, and they would have a spy on him in cover one. They played cover three and cover one most of the game, so they would stack the box, middle field close, have 8 guys down in there, and they just still couldn't stop Fields. I think they really missed Brandon Jones in this one, because I think they would have put Brandon Jones as a spy if he was healthy, because you got to have a DB sort of match Fields in space, because the linebackers just couldn't get it done. So definitely need to work on stopping the mobile QBs overall as the season goes on. But at least the defense did step up at the end of the game and had 2 big stops to help close this one out. So let's get right into this one. Bears, they came out in a good game plan. They attacked the flats early here in zone. They do a good job sort of spreading out the defense horizontally on this play action and then attacking middle of the field straight down vertically. Good play call. The linebackers get sucked on this sort of like zone read play action look right here. Everyone flows down and to the side here. They spread them horizontally, and it just opens up the middle of the field. I think the Dolphins wanted to play a lot of zone versus the Bears because Fields' running ability. They don't want to go man-to-man and leave a spy on. But then the Dolphins' defense just isn't built for zone. Like, the players, they're much better in man-to-man, getting downhill, being aggressive, blitzing, working stunts, but just dropping into zone, spot droppings, linebackers, safeties. It's not really their strengths on this team. And, yeah, that's why I don't really blame what what Boyer did. I think Boyer actually called a pretty good game. Like, he did what he had to do against Fields. The defensive players just did not execute. As you'll see, there was a lot of mistakes, especially on third downs by the spy trying to stop Fields, like just over pursuing, taking bad angles. They had pretty good calls most of the game, so I wouldn't really blame Boyer for this one. I think Boyer has had a pretty decent season. There's been definitely some questionable play calls, but overall this game plan was pretty solid, but the Dolphins defense was just not executing. Got to give some love to Kader Kohou, because Kohou was probably the best defender, if one of the best defenders for sure in this game for the defense. He sees the motion over from Claypool. He's expecting, the quick passes into the flat. This is like a game plan. This is what the Bears love to do. You're film studying. They want to probably get the ball into Claypool's hands quickly as the new trade. He sees it. You can tell he's anticipating this pre-snap. Doesn't backpedal at all, gain any depth, and he just quickly transitions downfield and then beats the block in open space and then makes the tackle. He's such a consistent tackler. Honestly, at some point in this game, I might have put Kader Kohou as the spy on Fields, even though they really needed him in coverage, just because I feel like Kohou was the one making a lot of consistent tackles. Everyone else was missing Fields in space, and it's not an easy task. Like, a lot of players have been struggling to tackle Fields in space. But yeah, just want to show this play, show some love to Kohou. Very good play right there. They had the number advantage to this side. They had 2 to block 2, and it would have been Claypool versus a linebacker in space, but Kohou beats his block very quickly. Really good play there. The 2nd and 10, they've already moved the ball down the field, still a first drive. I think this is one of the only times, maybe the only time the Dolphins went cover 0. Not their traditional cover 0 look, but they had no one playing deep. And honestly, I think they should have just did this the whole game, because it would have maybe led to a big play by Fields escaping and no one to tackle him. But I think they had a lot better chance of forcing Fields to throw the ball quickly by going cover 0. And, someone out of, the 6-7 guys blitzing, hopefully one of them can get to Fields, or they can gang tackle, force him to just leave the pocket, and they go cover 0 here, force Fields to take that quick step drop, and then go to Howard on Mooney. Howard does a really good job just staying in phase, forcing him to the sideline there, squeezing that, and then just would have really forced Fields to beat you with his arm, would have had to make perfect throws, and Fields did make some good throws when he was throwing, but I would rather have him beat the team with the arm than the legs, because he was still creating big plays with his mobility. This is a 3rd and 10. This is one of the only times the spy actually stopped them. He still gained 6 yards, and it almost could have been worse, but we got Tyndall right here, who is the spy. They used Tyndall as the spy, and he's like the only one who actually got to Fields, but he also gave up a huge run to Fields by over pursuing later in the game that'll show. Overall, pretty good coverage by the secondary. I think the secondary played pretty good overall. I know the Bears receivers aren't, the highest guys, but Kohou played pretty well. X gave up a touchdown to Mooney, but, that's going to happen when you're playing cover one man-to-man. You're on an island all day, put in a tough spot there. But good coverage pretty much across the board. Good play by Kohu in the hip pocket of Mooney. I know he was talking trash on Twitter, but everyone's in a pretty good spot. X is the only one there's any separation, but he's letting him, run his route before the sticks and then going to come downhill. And Fields escapes the pocket. Tyndall finds him. Pretty good job. I think that this was their game plan. Go cover 3 early downs. Stack the box. Stop the run. Play some zone. And then once it became 3rd and long, 2nd and long, obvious passing situations, they went to man-to-man, where they really trust their DBs to play man. And then they had Tyndall being the spy. This was a pretty good spy rep. He has the speed to get out there to the edge to Fields. It's just Fields is such a good athlete. So I think, they may have had to adjust. Probably the biggest part of this game is they should have adjusted, had a DB on him. But I just don't know which DB would have been able to do it, because without Brandon Fields, the only other DB that probably could be the spy would be Holland, and I don't think they would have wasted him just as the spy. Fields' first big run, Dolphins running cover 1. They actually played great coverage on the back end. That's why I'm not too worried when they face unmobile quarterbacks. I think the defense will be fine. But Fields just really made them pay. Tyndall as the spy, they're running the cover 1 spy. Tyndall just over pursues. This is actually a good example of what Chubb brings, because they were chipping him. So they're sending help to Chubb's side, and this gives Phillips a one-on-one matchup with the guard, and he just bullies this guard. Look at him just toss this guy aside. He just doesn't finish the sack. It's very difficult to sack Fields in the pocket by Phillips. Just would love to see, some other guys maybe clean this up after Phillips misses this. But, this is pretty much on Tyndall right here. Once he sees Fields escape right here, watch Tyndall. He just overcommits, instantly drops his head, thinking he's going to spin out, and he just goes straight back up the middle. And then this is why basically the spy wasn't working all game, and then he picks up 12 yards on the 3rd and 8. Stopping the speed option by Bradley Chubb here. This is pretty much all Chubb, just taking this away. He does a great job taking away both guys. The initial sort of hesitation there, discipline to take away the Fields option, and he just plays this with perfect leverage, playing that outside shade of Fields, but not overcommitting to the running back, so Fields can cut this back up. And then once he sees the pitch, he gets out. You can see the burst, sort of chase down Montgomery, and then get the help from Kohu there. So really good job by Chubb. I know he didn't have like the stats or the sacks in this game, but he was creating pressure. When he had one-on-one matchups and he had a true pass rush rep, he was creating pressure on Fields. The ball either was just coming out very quickly or Fields would scramble, so he didn't get, those true sacks. But process over results when predicting future success. Just because a player gets a sack does not mean they're going to get sacks in the future. But if you're creating consistent pressure, sacks will come. Because a lot of times people will have like 2 sacks, but then they're just like cleanup sacks. They were there in the pocket for 5 seconds. The guy tries to scramble, you get a sack. Not all sacks are created equal. So once you gotta watch the film to see what he actually did, I think Chubb had a pretty decent debut performance. Showed some nice hustle, some effort, and he was winning his reps very quickly. Pass rushing one-on-one. The ball was just coming out super quick, or the quarterback was running. The Dolphins defense forced Fields to pass on 3rd down situations. They did a good job. Good rep here from Kohu. Staying in phase, cover 1. They just squeezed to the sideline here. This is what, staying in your pass rush lanes does. Dolphins defense was getting a little undisciplined with their pass rush lanes. Just don't leave up wide open lanes here. The only one is, right there, but he doesn't see it. He tries to take on the one-on-one shot to Pettis. Kohu with a great rep, staying patient, staying square, and then once he sees him commit to the slot fade based on his pre-snap positioning, he opens up the hips, stays in phase, and then the ball's thrown out of bounds. So really good rep there from Kohu. Really, really excellent game from him all around versus the Bears. Another 3rd down situation. The Dolphins defense was just super inconsistent on these 3rd downs, usually giving up Fields to run, but this time they get the slot fade to Mooney versus Howard. Based on his positioning here, I would have loved to see Howard play like an outside shade, outside leverage, knowing Holland is in the middle of the field, so he could have helped in the middle of the field. It looks like he was just trying to take away the deep cross, but they get this slot fade, and based on his positioning here, Howard has no chance. Like pre-snap, based on his positioning, he literally has no chance to make a play on this ball with this perfect pass from Fields. It's just perfect placement. And Howard, great play by Munich because he catches it and then pulls it into his chest instantly, because Howard was trying to shoot through the hands and play the ball, and he almost gets it too, which would have been a really nice play. But really good play from Mooney and Fields here. The ball can't be really thrown better than that. But but with how quickly Fields gets out this ball, you can see Chubb, pretty good passer rep, working speed to power here, really forcing the left tackle. He even gets the pressure, the hit on Fields, but the ball is out just so quickly. He has no chance. Really quick getting the ball out, like 2 seconds. But, once you get the QB to hold on to it just a tad bit longer, the big plays from Chubb will come. I saw some people kind of freaking out about him, like, guys, it's been one game. That's a really good rep right there. Look how low he is getting. He gets so low, wins this leverage battle, uses that sort of long arm, pushes back in, and look how low, bend, the leverage, and he's still maintaining his speed and power while staying that low. And then, just a great play by the quarterback and the receiver. Sometimes you just can't beat a perfect play from the offense. This is the big Justin Fields run, and this is actually one of the only times the Dolphins went zone on third down. They went a lot of man-to-man and then went spy Fields. This time they go zone, which is usually how you stop a running quarterback, but I don't even know how you stop this play from Fields. Like, they actually cover up things pretty well on the back end. They're running cover 3 here. Probably the only thing that's open is maybe him sitting on this over the middle of the field, but Fields is already starting to escape in the pocket from the pressure, and this is just one of the most impressive plays you'll see mobility-wise from a QB. The burst out of the pump fake is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what the Dolphins defense is supposed to do here. You get Chubb coming off the edge right here around, trying to win with speed, so Fields steps up in the pocket, and then just look what he does to Baker here. Like, he fakes this, and Baker gets frozen just enough, and out of the fake, look at this acceleration and able to bend this back. Then Duke Riley crossing, they all miss tackles, and then Holland gets cut off by the receiver on the block, so they have no chance. Just one of the most impressive plays you'll see. You got to give props to Fields. He played absolutely outstanding in this game. Was just a beautiful game to watch offensively from both sides of the field. Tua, Fields, they played amazing. 3rd and 18, one of the only stops the Dolphins were getting in this game until later. They try to set this up, throwing like a drag, getting these guys blocking out here, but everyone in man-to-man. They get the quick pressure on Fields. Nothing is open. They're just trying to get out the quick pass. Good job by Bradley Chubb here. You can just see the effect, the pressure that he was having in this game. People think he didn't really do anything, but this is a really good pass rush rep. Using speed to power, just bull rushing, bullying this left tackle. It forces Fields to escape. Duke Riley is the spy. Riley actually did a decent job as a spy when he came in. There was less running when he was the spy. So yeah, good rep there from the defense. Any stop they were getting was helpful because the offense was doing a really good job scoring. 1st and 10, cover 3. This should have been an Xavier Howard pick. They get holding on Jalen Phillips, so they hold Jalen Phillips there, and they call hold on Xavier Howard. They get Fields to escape the pocket and actually get him to throw while escaping the pocket, and Howard would have got his first pick of the year. I know people complained about the defensive pass interference that wasn't called at the end of the game, and it should have been pass interference, but this hold call on Howard was not holding. He didn't even touch him here. Him twirling right there is just the receiver twirling. He did not hold him at all. This is him spinning out and twirling himself, and they call holding. Like, the dude has 5 yards of separation. He wasn't being held. So yeah, that was a call that changed the game because they ended up scoring later on this drive. It should have been an interception call for sure. Would love to see, X get his interception. Good rush by Phillips, getting the holding call there too, and then should have been the pick. X loves to bait those throws, and he did a good job there. Definitely should not have been defensive holding. Second half improvement from the Dolphins was impressive. They went to cover 2 here. They did not do this at all in this game, but they rotate into a cover 2 invert where the corner becomes a deep half defender, and then they have the linebacker, basically a Tampa 2, carrying the tight end down the middle of the field. Fields reads that this is becoming a deep high or 2 deep coverage, middle field open, so he throws it to the correct read, but forced Fields to make amazing throws. That should have been the whole game plan. That was really the only fault that I could see from the play calling defensively, even though that's what he was trying to do. It just wasn't executing, but he maybe could have changed it up a little bit earlier. But good job by Roberts, carrying Kmet all the way down the field. He's not really known for his coverage. Also, Jalen Phillips, pressure on these twists, these stunts. Good job by Wilkins being the crash guy, taking 2 offensive guys, and Phillips timing this perfectly, sticking that foot in the ground, and you just see how explosive he is. He's so good on those twists, those stunts, looping around. He gets to the quarterback so fast. Phillips looks extra explosive. Every game I'm watching him, he looks even more and more explosive. This time, a 3rd and 1, and Fields just working a boot. They commit on the run. He gets on the edge again. Just poor defensive execution. Not a good play by Howard here. Howard knows he has no involvement in this running game. He should just be being the force defender here. He's the only player who has a chance on Fields, and his eyes just get stuck in the backfield. Phillips also should have maintained his edge, but I understand why he's trying to force down and stop the run on the inside. But Howard's got to be on this outside. Give your players a chance, at least force him back to the inside. For Phillips, who's playing coverage because they're running man-to-man here, so he's just covering his guy down the field. And Fields just killed them all game with the play-action boots, things like that, getting on the edge. He was just so explosive. Fields just beat them in so many ways running the ball this time. You get the read option. They're reading Phillips. Phillips just hesitates just enough. He doesn't even close down on the running back. That's just how explosive Fields is to get on the edge so quickly. He has such good acceleration from like standing still just to accelerate instantly. Phillips holds his eyes too long to the inside and then sees it. Also, impressive recovery by Phillips. Look how explosive Phillips is to at least catch him. Like, he should not catch Fields here, but at least that's impressive speed and burst to at least see on display. And hustle from Phillips. Obviously, would like to see the process better with your eyes, more disciplined, because you are responsible for Fields. But, you know, no defenders were stopping Fields in this game, so I guess they were just, all following each other on that one. Just a good play call by the Bears. Going play action. Komet blocks Ingram, and I'm not 100% sure who was supposed to be covering him. We'll see this from the other view. I think Holland was supposed to be man-to-man on this tight end, but once he goes back to the split field to the other side, that moves Holland's eyes. And then I think Ingram is blitzing, but he's getting blocked by the tight end, and he just escapes. Might have been Baker's responsibility to cover this tight end, because you could see them communicating here. Pre-snap, Holland is pointing at this guy like he has him man-to-man, and then Baker tries to point to Riley, and I think Riley's pointing that he has the fullback man-to-man. So Baker, he sees them blocking, and he just loses it. So I believe this is Jerome Baker supposed to be man-to-man on that guy. Maybe Holland could come off once the other tight end goes to the other side of the field. But just good play call, good setup, good fake by Komet blocking at Melvin Ingram. He's blocking a guy that's not even covering him, so it's hard for them to recover, see that, and they get the easy touchdown. Another 3rd and long situation. Fields scrambles for the first down. Duke Riley getting beat as a spy here. Just really good. Would love to see Chubb finish this, but you can see the pass rush ability, process over results for future success. Really good job because he's been winning speed to power all game, selling into the inside like he's about to rush in there, and then win to the out, swipe down, rip. He's just getting widened just a little too much and is only able to get a hand on Fields. But once you get him slowed down, I don't know what Riley's looking at. I have no idea. What is he seeing here? He's supposed to be spying Fields, and Fields is over here, and he's looking here for some reason, and he escapes the pocket and gets another first down. Runs through an arm tackle from Eric Rowe. No one could stop Fields in this game. None of the linebackers, all the linebackers had one good spy rep, and then would make a huge mistake the next time. Whether it was Tyndall, Riley, Baker, they all were struggling in this one. In the next play, Melvin Ingram makes up for it, getting the sack. This poor left tackle was getting bullied all game, just using the power against him. He just lost on the speed rep, so on the last play, 2 Chubb around the edge, and Ingram does a good job just selling like he's going to go around the edge, and then just counter back to the inside, extend those arms, just win the leverage battle, get into Fields, get this sack. He takes the perfect angle where Fields cannot escape this, too, and he never sees him coming. You got to hit him from that inside shoulder. You got to attack him straight on, just because if you only get a hand on him and you got to throw him to the ground, he's so powerful that you have to be able to be very, very physical, very strong at the point of attack to get Fields down. The last drive of the game, Dolphins get some big stops here. Good job getting the instant pressure on Fields, and this time Riley staying on him, taking a good angle, maintaining a good, healthy relationship. You want to stay inside out, maintain that yard relationship with him. Ingram gets some instant pressure. They come off the play action. He rolls out to the right here. Wilkins does a good job forcing him to take an extra, few yard angle to the outside, so he has to adjust, and this allows Riley to get in there. He maintains that yard inside healthy relationship to get that angle and then force him out of bounds. You get a 2-yard sack here, so good play by the Dolphins defense, adjusting later on. They at least do a good job of staying poised and making clutch plays, and then working their adjustments, even though they've been getting beat all game, and then, that helped the team win the game. And 3rd and 10, the controversial no call on Keon Crossan. Dolphins need another corner, honestly, because with Howard and Kohu definitely being starters, they need someone else because Crossan, Igbenogany, they're just too inconsistent. Whenever Crossan's deep downfield and he's actually in position, he just starts holding and grabbing on. But at least gave himself a chance here not to be called. I don't know. Whatever. It ended up working out. Good play by Holland, too, to actually get over there and give himself a chance to make a play at the catch point. So even if it was no pass interference with a chance, Holland could have made a play on this ball, which is impressive from the middle of the field spot. He sort of floats this one up. Claypool's not even that great at the catch point either, and Holland would have been right there to make the play. So Crossan needs to work on playing with more discipline, more patience, not grabbing around the waist of the receivers, because either he's getting beat or he's just grabbing on for dear life. I would honestly rather see Igbenogany out there, but I think Igbenogany can play man a little bit better, but he's also just a big detriment in zone and struggles at the catch point too and gets some pass interferences. So Dolphins need either Byron Jones back, something, because they have Howard, they have Kohu, who's usually playing in the slot in these situations. They need someone else on the outside who can man up and not get bullied, picked on all game. Last play that I'm going to break down, Fields, the cover one. He breaks the pocket and then his receiver drops it. If he didn't have to break the pocket here, he had the dig, because Crossan gets beat, opens up his hips too early. Howard's in decent position. Fields escaping the pocket. It's just a good ball, just not finished, not caught. Crossan opens those hips in bad position. He definitely would have given up the dig. Was wide open. Kohu in great position as usual. He really did a really good job against Darnell Mooney. He really shut him down for the most part. And Howard in pretty good spot, but you can't beat a perfectly thrown ball, and then it just doesn't get caught. So overall, defense stepped up when they needed to. They had some big breaks, but also the offense could have put this team away a long time ago. But overall, you could see that they were trying to get a nice little chip on Chubb again, so they were worried about him, which created one-on-one matchups for Phillips. And then this, would force the pressure, force Fields to escape the pocket. Riley in the position, good job spying, forces this throw, and then, it's a perfect throw. Hits St. Brown right in the hands. He just drops it. So that's what they needed to do the whole game. If they just executed, forced Fields to throw down the field, there would have been a lot less points scored in this game for the defense. So if they're facing guys who are less athletic, which they will not face guys more athletic than Fields, I think the Dolphins defense will be fine. And this offense is looking amazing. So overall, not super worried at this point, but I definitely need to see improvement, just more execution. There's definitely some worrying parts on this defense, especially at that second outside corner position. And I think the pressure will start getting there more and more with Chubb added. The linebacker play needs to improve, especially if they're spying. But overall, solid play towards the end of the game from the defense. They clutched up when it mattered the most, so that's big time. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.